Welcome back to Franco Fridays. Today I've got a film from 1976, White Skin, Black Thighs. This is part of the partnership with Erwin C. Dietrich. Jess Franco directed a number of films produced by Erwin C. Dietrich, German producer. This film is a sexploitation romp about a prostitute that apparently committed suicide, jumped out a window and apparently framed the guy she was with. She picked her up at a strip joint, basically. The story then becomes a succession of sex vignettes that detail the backstory of this woman and why she ended up doing what she did. It's an interesting film. It's a short watch. It's like 75 minutes. There is an uncut version of the film that is about 80 minutes that's hardcore. There's about 4 or 5 super hardcore scenes in this. And there's always the question, did Franco shoot the scenes or not? From what I've researched, I don't think he did. I think those scenes were inserted and done by someone else after Jess Franco produced the film, directed the film. And also those hardcore scenes really don't look like Franco scenes. They really just look like what you might see if you went to med school almost. It's so clinical. It looks almost like if Franco did those scenes, he did them begrudgingly. And he has indicated that in a lot of cases he's gotten a bad rap for hardcore scenes that he didn't do or was forced to do. And if he did do these, you can tell that he did them begrudgingly because they're very clinical in nature. If you ever want to become an OBGYN, check this film out, particularly the hardcore scenes, because it might change your opinion. It's super up close, gynecologically up close, and there's nothing erotic about it. The film is an exercise into interracial sex, lesbian sex, all kinds of explorations of black and white sex, and it stars Callie Hansa, who was in Sinner, and she was also in Countess Perverse. And it also stars Pilar Cole. These names are crazy here. Pilar Cole. And Pilar Cole was really only in 2 films, this one and another one, and then she just disappeared. I did some research to try to find out what happened to her, but she's the exotic black woman in this film, and I mean, other than this film and one other, she didn't do anything. It also stars Eric Falk, who was a German actor that starred in a whole slew of these films in the 70s. He's actually got an interesting 10-minute interview on this Blu-ray. It's really bizarre. It's almost worth buying this Blu-ray just to see this 10-minute interview with Eric, because he goes into this bizarre philosophy about life and how men are sex machines and men should be constantly erect, and if men come within 100 meters of a woman, they should already be erect. It's a bizarre interview. You got to see it to believe it. The film really sets the tone for what you're going to see on the first second that it comes up. You see, I guess it's Pilar Cole's butt. I mean, she's basically, the credits roll over her buttocks. And then she proceeds to do a strip tease. Well, she's already stripped. I mean, it's not a strip tease. Hell, she's naked as soon as she starts. But basically, she's doing an erotic dance in this club, overlaid by the great music of Walter Baumgartner. It's a crazy sexploitation film from the 70s, but it's what you would expect from a Franco film, in that it's got beautiful set pieces, wonderful design. There's a number of scenes where you've got this floor that's basically smoke, a cloud of smoke, and naked people are crawling across it and things like that, so that it gives off the impression that people are walking on a cloud. Really, really interesting stuff. Franco always, even with not a whole lot to work with, he makes do, and he really gives you a lot of imagery on the screen. There's a lot of S&M in this. Obviously, Franco is a big fan of S&M and male domination. You got women, naked women that are whipping men and chaining. People are chained up, and the typical S&M bondage type stuff. Interesting, and it's an interesting exploration into sexual perversion and ultimately sexual awakening. I recommend this for Franco fans. I think this is something that all Franco fans should see. It's not a great film. I give it a 6 out of 10, but I think it's something that's worthwhile checking out. This release, of course, it's a German release, has the uncut version, which again has maybe 5 minutes of hardcore footage, and then the 75-minute domestic release. It also has a 40-minute audio conversation with Franco that's all in German with no subtitles, unfortunately. So didn't get to enjoy that too much. And then, of course, the Eric Falk interview is priceless. 10 minutes of that is just it's money. You gotta check it out. The picture quality is fantastic. The sound is excellent. So this Golden Goya collection release is highly recommended. And I think this is really the only way that you can see white skin, black thighs. I don't know of another Blu-ray release for this film at this point. So check it out. 6 out of 10. That'll do it for Franco Fridays, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.